What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. Today I want to talk about something pretty interesting. Once again, you guys do know that What's going on, guys? Gomes here back again on another MLB The Show 19 Diamond Dynasty video. As you guys probably are aware of, we did receive a new set of moments, that being the Ken Griffey Jr. storyline moments, in which rewarded you an 89 overall Cincinnati Reds 2000 All-Star version of Ken Griffey Jr. Of course, you guys might have remembered I did make videos talking about how there's actually kind of hidden legends within these storyline moments for whatever reason, for the simple fact that you are playing in a lot of flashback or like older scenarios where there are former players, and there's a mix between guys named like Cincinnati Reds pitcher and actually some names that are not in the game that I don't really know if they have the rights to them or not, because they look like them, they're using their names, so it's really tough to exactly say. But once again, I went through each and every single one of the Ken Griffey Jr. moments, and I took screenshots of all of the players that I recognized and that I think that you guys will be interested in. So without further ado, let's go right over to my capture gallery and check those out. There was quite a few this time. Like I said, there was definitely quite a few, and I think there was only like 12 Ken Griffey Jr. moments, so there was a lot in that short of time. The first one right here is Aaron Harang. He wasn't ever like an elite pitcher, but I do remember him for the Cincinnati Reds in that mid 2000s era. I do remember him a bit, and he does appear right here. I will move myself up here for the time being, just so it should be a little bit easier. But yeah, you guys also see Matt Belisle down there too, Josh Fogg, guys that I remember, because this is more so my time span, so I remember even more so fringe players. But it's really interesting to exactly think whether or not they own the rights to these guys, because that kind of looks like Aaron Harang and they're using his name, so it's kind of tough, but we're going to keep on moving. We got Jock Jones right here. Of course, he used to be a Minnesota Twin. That is where I remember him from. They have him listed as a 56 overall, so I find that kind of funny. The overalls and everything are usually kind of weird on these. Just keep that in mind. And for whatever reason, he's wearing a Reds uniform, even though this is obviously the Marlins because they have Hanley Ramirez. And then I also noticed John Baker, Jeremy Hermedia, and Cameron Maybin as well. Of course, Cameron Maybin still in the league. Freddie Sanchez right here, some guy that I'm really interested in. Of course, second baseman for the San Francisco Giants. This is part of the All-Star roster in one of the moments sections, so I think this would be a really good card. Of course, he never hit for an abundance of power, but was always a good contact hitter, a good fielder, would have a lot of vision. Kind of like a Rod Carew, I would say, but a little less speed. And obviously a right-handed batter. Freddie Sanchez would definitely be somebody interesting that I would like. Orlando Hudson is a guy who I think I covered in one previous video, but I saw him again, so I wanted to take another capture of him. Obviously, it's a 76 overall. He would be better than a 76 overall, fair to say. Like I said, these last two, especially Orlando Hudson, he was with the Twins. I definitely saw him. I saw him play in person. That kind of looks like Orlando Hudson, so I don't know if it's even legal for them to use that like model of him in the name if he is not able to profit off of it. I have no idea. If you guys are more knowledge than me, please let me know down below in the comment section. I've had I've seen some conversations on Twitter with some guys in the community, and it is really a tough situation. We got Brian Roberts, who I recently talked about as a possibility for Mills moments, and that is being released tonight, so who knows, maybe this is going to be a little bit of a sneak peek. I'm not really too sure, but that would be cool. Again, a lot of second basemen that I'm finding right now, and another one, Placido Polanco, another one. Of course, the Detroit Tigers is where I more so remember him from, right here. And this is all within just like I think this is 2007 All-Star roster. We got JJ Putz, of course, a pretty solid reliever in his day for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's listed as a 92 overall. I don't think if we got him, he'd be a 92, but still cool nonetheless. We got Sean Casey, who I do faintly remember a little bit for the Cincinnati Reds. This is going a little bit back now, but still, I don't think we're still in the 2000s era, not quite in the 90s. Here we got Mark Sweeney, of course. I think he's the dad to Mike Sweeney. I'm not too sure. He might be the brother. I'm not exactly sure about that. But he's another one that we see here. Like I said, I found so many screenshots. We got Jeff Jenkins, who I do remember, and then of course Ronnie Belliard, another second baseman, just a whole slew of players. And like, don't get it twisted, none of these are like huge legends, at least not yet. There are a couple like pretty big names that we could be seeing, but a lot of these are just like, yeah, they're good players in their time, they were pretty decent, but none of them were like legend tier. None of them would be like 95 signature worthy, but nonetheless, I'm part of the boat that if you give us an 82 overall card, sure, I'm down. I mean, why not? If you think about it, if they do have the rights to these players, it cannot be that hard to like make a card for it realistically. So I would personally like, the more cards the better in my opinion. And then Mark Loretta as well for the Milwaukee Brewers right here. Moving on, we got Scott Spezio here for the Oakland Athletics. You guys also see Jason Giambi as well. I think this is kind of towards like the Moneyball era. I did see Scott Hatteberg too. I think he was with the Reds on one of these teams. So we got that right there. We have Derek Lowe right here. Okay, if you guys remember, I did make a video talking about you can look in the legend like pitching animations, pitching motions, and the hitting stances, the batting stances, and Derek Lowe was in there, so that's really interesting. As well as Jamie Moyer, who pitched like really late into his career. I think he was close to 50 by the time he hung up his cleats. These two would be pretty big names if I do say so myself. I would really like to see a Derek Lowe added into the game, and I think like both of these cards would probably be signature series worthy. So if they do have the rights, I would really enjoy if they could bring these cards into fruition and bring those into Diamond Dynasty. And another one, we got Tino Martinez. This is kind of what sparked me. At first I didn't really think about like making another video on this because I didn't think about another slew of hidden players being within these storyline moments, but people were talking about Tino Martinez, and sure enough, he shows up right alongside here. And once again, all of these players pretty similarly as accurate as you can get. Obviously, these aren't face scanned in. They would be, you know, created. They probably have a little bit better tools than we have for in-game, but that's how they create them. And then Andy Beans, I'm not exactly sure how you say his name, but I know he was an all-star in his time as well. So just a whole ton of players that we're seeing. Here's interesting. You guys know I'm from Minnesota. I'm really aware of these guys. Kent Herbeck. I saw people talk about him as well. That would be really nice to see. Chuck Knobloch is another guy I definitely remember, and Gene Larkin as well. Brian Harper. A lot of these guys I'm very familiar with as a Minnesota native. And then Eddie Guardado as well. Very good closing pitcher in our time towards the late 90s for the Minnesota Twins. Like I said, there's a whole bunch. We got Chili Davis right here, who would be nice to see, a great power hitting outfielder who I think played for the Twins as well. I'm not exactly too sure, but of course I think his best years were for the, I believe they were the California Angels. No, they weren't the California Angels. You guys get the damn thing. Like I said, this is before my time. I'm not exactly sure. Actually, it is the California Angels. I'm stupid. But keep going on. Somehow Irvin Santana's right here. That's something that really kind of tripped me up, because this is obviously in the 1990s and Irvin Santana's just there for whatever reason. I have no idea why. We have Mike Scioscia, of course, the former Los Angeles Angels manager, which is something I talked about in a previous video. I'm not exactly sure how it works. If there's a current manager, whether or not that means that SDS garners the rights to them. I feel like that might be a way how we got Don Mattingly in the game, that he is a manager in the current MLB. I think they have some sort of ties to the MLB PA, so that is interesting as well. But obviously he wasn't in the game when he was the manager of the Angels. We got Frank Viola, another really solid pitcher that I would like to see. You guys get the idea. We have so many of those legend cards. Some of them are pretty damn big names. Some of them are more so fringe legends. That would be, you know, I remembered him back in his time. He was a pretty alright player, you know, never made any all-star teams, but was always pretty solid. Even that, just give us more content. I don't think that would hurt at all. Just, you know, put them in packs. Like, I would love if they just release like 20, 30 gold cards and like flashbacks and legends. Just put them in packs. More incentive to buy packs, and maybe give some of the gold pulls some actual value, because other than the golds that people speculate to go to Diamond, none of them really go for anything except for, I guess, like Joey Votto, Andrew Miller, Jose Ramirez, guys who are at Diamond and jump down to gold. So that is very interesting. like I said, I'm not exactly too sure whether or not they do have the rights to these guys or not. I hope so. It seems kind of weird that they're using a pretty accurate player model to that player, how he looked, and they're using his name, and he's in a moment challenge in Diamond Dynasty. So in my opinion, I don't know, it's really tough. If you guys have any thoughts, opinions, let me know down below in the comment section. If you guys are more educated on this, please let me know as well, because I'm not entirely sure what this means, but nonetheless, it is interesting and cool to look at. And who knows, maybe even if we don't get him this year, maybe we'll get Tino Martinez next year. Maybe we'll get Derek Lowe next year, and that would be a very nice surprise and a little early sneak peek. So if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to like down below. Hope you guys had a great day. And there guys, I'm Saudi.
Love is love, and hate is hate. To die is an awesome adventure, and I can hardly wait. Earth is a prison, I need a great escape. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone when I'm up in outer space. You know I'm in my zone. You know I'm in my zone. I took a bite of the glory.